Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Programming with a Purpose. In this video, I am going to explore and show you how to download the data from Firebase. Previously, we have uploaded the data. I've made two tutorials on it. So integration is already done. I'm using that project and add the functionality to download and display the data on our UI. So let's get started. So let's see how the UI will be set up. There will be another view controller. It is basically a table view since there will be multiple entries in the database and we want to show all of them. So I'm using table view for this purpose. A collection view can also be used, but generally these aggregated views will be used that will comprise of further cells or further components. So I'm using here table view. In the table view cell, I'm setting up a cell that will contain an image and two text fields. Kindly follow this tutorial to see how these details and text and image view will be added to our cell. So next we are going to add a folder name model. It will comprise of our a data model in which there will be three fields as string, the name, title, and description, as well as the image URL. These three fields will be of string type, and that will be our model of data. Apart from that, there will be a model that will show you how the data will look like in the form of a cell that will be connected to our view controller and table view cell that we have already created in our previous steps. So follow these steps and create these two models and connect them accordingly as shown in this tutorial. So here I'm showing you how to connect the IB outlets to the UI, as well as how to set different values from our class my data. Image will be downloaded and then set into the image view. So here I am adding another view controller, display data view controller. The code for it will be contained in this Swift file, and there will be some extensions, as you can see, UI table view delegate as well as UI table view data source. There are certain functions that need to be added once you extend your class with these delegates. Follow these steps and implement the table view in your Swift file. This step is very important to set the identifier of the cell in the UI. Kindly see the steps how to do it. So here the major function is basically this one, table view, in which we are returning data array.count. This is basically this will explain or show you how many rows will be connected in the table view, how many cells will be there in our table view. Another function will return the actual cell that will contain the values which will be shown in the cell. So it uses the reusable cell function to return a cell, and we have already implemented the set values function. It will get a certain index path dot row function from the data array, and this data array will be filled by our function fetch data from Firebase. So fetch data from Firebase will download all the data locally in our simulator and populate this array, and this array will then be used to display data to our UI. So here I am showing you how to set the display data view controller as initial view controller, so it will be launched when we hit the play button of the app. Okay, so this is how we are going to connect the UI with a Swift file display data view controller. We are going to select the class from the drop down. Here we are connecting the IB outlet in our display data view controller to our table view in the UI. So here I'm completing the function set values in the data cell. I've already added the text, and now I am writing the function to download the data from the URL that we have got after running some functions to get data from the Firebase database. So you can see one of the scary number here is the maximum size. It is normally set as 1 multiplied by some value into some value, which is basically the dimensions of the image. But since my image was quite big, I did not restrict it to a specific size. So I was constantly getting this error that you have to be your maximum size should be capped at this value so that we can download the image. So I have set it exactly to this value. In databases, normally you when uploading the image, if the your app is not specific to some image filtering or in some way connected to like the functions that need to keep and maintain the quality of the image, then in most of the cases which is not the case, so we compress that image and restrict it to a certain size. Even in case of profile images and profile photos, we restrict it to a specific size. That helps us in obviously in the network traffic on downloading and uploading the data, as well as it requires less storage on the part of the database. Plus our data is quite predictable in terms of size. I haven't done all these. It is a good practice to restrict its size to a specific requirement you need, but since I am not considering those optimizations, so I've set this value to this, and then we get this data as image. These will be bytes converted into image and then displayed in our data image view. So here I'm populating the function with the fetch data from Firebase code. So it is basically we are using the function observe single event or value, and there will be a snapshot that will be returned. Snapshot will contain the values. We are going to convert it into our relevant type. First I'm going to enumerate it so it get me the all the children, and obviously you can see that reference dot child info is basically the info was the node in which I have populated my data in my previous videos. So once you get the rest enumerated or next object, you convert it into a dictionary. Dictionary will contain all the data that of the same type as my data. I am putting that data and setting it to get a data object, and that will be appended to our data array, which will be used to populate our cells. So you have seen that once I run the code, you will see the relevant text fields and image fields as in our table view. But the main issue you can see here are two. First of all, there is no spinner being shown, so you do not know when the data is loaded and if the function is waiting for data or something. There was no interaction with the UI that asks the user to wait. This is the first like very basic flaw of this code, and optimization and an improvement in UI that I will be adding in few minutes to my code. Apart from that, the image is inverted. So the inverted image can either be corrected by applying a post processing and invert it to rotate it to a certain degree, like 180 degree. Okay, you can do that. Apart from that, I've read somewhere that basically I've uploaded the image as a PNG, so it loses orientation. So if you convert it into JPEG and upload it, so the orientation problem will be resolved. That solution seems promising and can be tried. I did not try it, but these two things can be done to basically convert the image to the right orientation. Here I'm showing you an optimization of the code where we are going to add a spinner to the table view and then to the corresponding cells. For the cells, we are going to show the spinner so that during the downloading of the image, we will tell the user to wait. And for the table view, when the whole of the data is downloaded, we are going to show a spinner so that the user knows that he has to wait once because the data is being downloaded and loaded into the table view. You can see here the download of images taking a lot of time because we have uploaded a big image, not a compressed form of a small image. So it is a good gives you a good estimate of how a smaller image will help us to in the downloading and the reloading of the table view in a quick fashion, like just in a few seconds. So this is all for the downloading of the data from Firebase. I hope you are enjoying these tutorials. If you are liking the content of this channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.